Hey everyone, today's lesson in light waves is lesson 3.2, 3.3, what eyes can see and reflection, transmission, and energy. So look at this visual here. I want you to answer the question, actually examine the diagram first, and decide which type of light wave can be emitted from light source 2. So we're looking at light source 2. We have light source 1, compare, it's going transmitting, this one's reflecting. Which one of these can be light source 2? Go ahead and answer the question, then we'll come back. Okay, so if you chose C, you are absolutely correct. The light wave emitted from light source 2 must be wave C because the light must have a different wavelength, and waves A and B have the same wavelength as the type of light emitted from light source 1. I know the two types of light must have different wavelengths because they did different things when they hit the material. As you can see, one transmitted through and one reflected back. Okay, so what can happen to light as it travels? Have you ever had an experience where something looked different in one kind of light than in another kind of light? Or where something seemed to appear or disappear when the light changed? Light is a very important thing, and think about it. When you're in the dark, do you see anything? You actually have to have light to see things. And certain lights actually make certain things look different. And you've probably seen that even in looking in the mirror in different types of light. So I want you to look at these visuals here. Light behaves in different ways when coming into contact with other materials. As you can see, it can be absorbed, as it's showing here with the leaf is lit up. It can be transmitted, which is over here, and it's just going right through with no change. Or it can be reflected, which means it's bouncing back. That energy is bouncing off and bouncing off to in another direction. So which one is this diagram showing? Okay, if you said reflection, you're absolutely right. It's absorbing all the colors of white light except it's reflecting red back into our eyes. What about this one? Okay, now because all the colors are being absorbed, the black is absorbing all of the colors, so that therefore no colors are reflecting back and you see black. What about this one? Now we could say reflection as well because it's reflecting, but it's also transmitting through the window, isn't it? The light is transmitting straight through that window. Okay, so today you'll read an article about what happens to light as it travels and how that determines what we see. It will provide you with more evidence to help answer our question. And when you're reading, I want you to remember to summarize the important ideas as you read. That is our goal for this unit. We're learning to summarize. Not every paragraph needs a summary. Sometimes 2 or more paragraphs together will make an important idea that needs to be summarized. So try to do at least one small paragraph in your annotations. Next, you will look over your annotations and you will choose some to discuss. So choose some highlight some areas in your reading that you will want to discuss with your partner, and this is a must. So I'm going to review the different hashtags that you're going to use to select your annotations, okay? So when discussing annotations, you're going to prepare to share. Choose an interesting question, connection, or challenging word or phrase and share it with a partner. And then once you share it, you'll write hashtag share by that quote or that question or whatever. Then you'll go to step 2 where you discuss with your partner and talk about your chosen annotation. You each need a different one. So please each choose a different one to discuss. And once you've discussed it, I would love you to each put a hashtag, hashtag discussed by the item that was discussed. We will probably not be able to present today. We might have some time at the end of the class to present one of your ideas from this article with your table. So be prepared in case of that. And that you will at that point do hashtag present, okay? All right, so review your annotations and then answer the reflection question. And the key concept for this lesson is a material transmits or reflects some types of light and not others. And you learned that from your article. Different types of light have different wavelengths, as we've been learning, so different things can happen as they travel. In chapter 2, we focused on one thing that can happen to light as it travels, and that's absorption. A material can absorb energy from some types of light and not others. And now that we know we know that a material can also reflect or transmit some types of light and not others as well. Okay, so lesson 3.3, once you're done with 3.2, you're going to do this assignment in the sim, and you're going to investigate with this question. What happens to energy when light is transmitted through or reflected off a material? What happens to energy? I want you to make a prediction right now. All right, so in this lesson, you'll use the sim to find 2 materials that transmit green light and 2 materials that reflect green light, and then you'll record your observations and answer the investigation question. If the material didn't change after the light hit, was the energy absorbed? And how do we know? What happens to the energy when light is reflected or transmitted? What happens to that energy? Okay, so our key concepts, we're actually going back to key concept number 1. The movement of energy can be tracked by observing the changes the energy causes to matter. Remember, we talked about things that happen when you put something out in the sun. So we're looking at the movement of energy actually can be tracked by what it does to that matter. What changes does it cause in the matter? And then key concept number 12, our very last one, when light is transmitted through or reflected off a material, the energy is not absorbed, so the material does not change. Okay, so that is the end of the lesson for today. Okay, so good luck with that, and remember to check your agenda again if you have questions about which parts you are doing in each of the lessons. And remember, you're working with a partner.